The Fulton County Manager is back with us again. Dick Anderson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Shania, for having us back again.
All right, so Fulton had been one of the counties in the state with a number of COVID-19 cases. However, should we be encouraged by improvements in the COVID-19 trends?
Yes, I'm very encouraged by the recent trends. I'll give you a few statistics. We've gone from having over 400 new cases a day down to below 100 now. When someone goes to be tested, that testing positive rate was over 16%. It's now down to 5%. By the way, that's a benchmark that really allows us to do contact tracing in an effective manner. Also, our hospitalizations have dropped. So they've dropped from over 600 to now in about the 280 range. That gives us a capacity of another 600 beds. So all of those trends are extremely positive, and we're very pleased to see those. I would say we still need to remain vigilant because obviously we just had a holiday, and that in and of itself generates a lot more activity. We also have the fall coming up, so that will be more pressure from the flu season as well as folks staying indoors, but these trends are positive.
And sir, what is the ultimate measure of interruption of spread of COVID-19?
Well, the ultimate measure is the projected death rate. Of course, that's the thing that concerns all of our citizens and us as public officials. And the one thing that I can say is, due to our intervention, our very good work with the Board of Health, a program of testing, as well as emphasizing social distancing, hand sanitization, and fundamentally keeping focused and wearing a mask, all of those activities together have resulted in Fulton County having much less of the percent of the total cases in Georgia than we started out with. We started with representing almost 20% of the cases in Georgia. We're now down to less than 9%. And that simple fact drives a projected death rate that's less than half of what it would have been otherwise, and that probably has saved 1,000 to 1,100 lives in Fulton County. So there's no more important measure than that one, and again, we're extremely pleased that our efforts have changed that potential catastrophic outcome.
And can you speak now to the testing trends?
So the testing trends remain good, and that is our strong suit. As I've said before, we represent between 20 to 25% of all the tests that are being administered in Georgia. We've done now close to 600,000 tests. What that means is our citizens have ample access to testing, and they're taking advantage of it. What we want to do now is really press between now and the end of the year to have as much testing done as possible, because it does really assure us that we're controlling the virus, that we know where the hot spots are, that citizens are getting the best health care. So our Fulton Needs You campaign, which will have 130 million or so impressions across the fall, is going to be extremely important. And certainly it will emphasize being tested, as well as all the other things that we know to do to stem the flow of this virus. So we're hopeful with that innovative campaign and the number of impressions that it will create, that we'll see even more testing, because today we're testing about 3,000 to 3,500 folks a day. We have the capacity to test 8,500 a day. So there's plenty more capacity. And by the way, our turnaround times now are 24 hours to 48 hours. So there's really no reason that you can't get an appointment or you don't think the turnaround will be quick enough. Both of those things have been alleviated. So we encourage all of our citizens to be tested.
And what about any changes in the county's opening plans?
So as we think about opening, we are doing some things that I would call incremental. For example, we're putting fingerprinting services now at the North Annex and South Annex. That will be important to help with if you're getting a concealed carry permit or getting a renewal of a permit. Now you can have a one-stop shop at either of those two sites, as well as here at 141 Pryor. We continue to do things, I think, that are extraordinary on a virtual basis in our court system. They are doing virtually everything now in that online mode. They are looking at grand juries potentially coming back in the next couple of months, so we'll be working closely with them. As well as we think about additional services, we're going to remain with a safety first mindset. So I don't anticipate that we'll do anything differently than we're doing today. We'll continue with our current course and speed as we move into the fall.
Mr. Anderson, let me get your final thoughts.
Well, I think the final thoughts that I have is we have very much focused on keeping the critical functions of government going. So despite COVID-19, as an example, our property tax bills went out last week with due dates that really do allow the government to meet its financial obligations, both in the city of Atlanta, where they're due on 10/31, and in the rest of Fulton County, where they're due on 11/15. And that took extraordinary efforts, which many of our functions do now due to reduced staffing. We had equipment problems that the tax commissioner office overcame with, again, just phenomenal effort. At the same time, we have major construction projects, some right behind me, where we're redoing the entry plaza as well as the court facade. At the same time, we're redoing Assembly Hall. Even bigger than that, we have two major wastewater expansion projects at Little River and Big Creek in North Fulton, and a study going on in South Fulton for a like plan to expand our wastewater capacity for decades into the future. So while COVID-19 has impacted government, impacted our economy, impacted all of us personally, what my final thought is that work still goes on, and we're still here to serve citizens fundamentally. And it's just evidenced by all the things that we're doing and the accomplishments that we're making, that while certainly the virus and interrupting the progress of the virus has been our preeminent focus and maybe our most important role that we've ever had, and I would say that we've done it well, all the other functions of government continue on, and we're going to stay focused in that manner through the duration.
Dick Anderson, Fulton County Manager, amazing what's been done even in the midst of the pandemic. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shania. Again, I always appreciate being invited to be here, be able to share this information with your audience. And again, thank you so much.